Hello everyone and welcome to lesson number 11. Today we will talk about wildcards in Linux. What are wildcards in Linux? Today we will learn the theory, and at the next lesson we will see many examples. In the meantime, you can also try to implement everything you learned today before I even show it to you. So let's start. Open up your virtual machine, VirtualBox, open up your Ubuntu, and then I will show you everything using a text editor. Let's go to the files to see it happen. We will see if we are at the right folder, and yes, we are there. And using the Vim editor, I will try to edit a file and create a file. So Vim, I will name it lesson 11, and as you can see, at that point no file was created. Can you imagine why? The reason is because I haven't pressed the save button yet. If I write, for example, Linux 11 and then I save it, you can see here that the lesson 11 was created. So let's start. What is a wildcard? A wildcard is a character or string used for pattern matching. A wildcard is a character or string used for pattern matching. Sometimes they are referred as globs. And globbing, the term globbing, is when you expand the wildcard into a list or files or directories. When you expand the wildcard into a list of files or directories. So the two main wildcards. The first one is the asterisk or the star, if you prefer it, and it means it matches 0 or more characters. For example, if we write asterisk or star dot text, this finds all the files that end in dot text. For example, if we have if these three files were lesson 88.text.text.text, and we write a command list asterisk dot text, then we would take these three files in return. If we write something, also a character A for example, and then the asterisk, this command lists all the files that lists all the files that have that start with the letter A. And for a quick example, we can also check here the following. We have here in this file three or four files that start with L. So if we press this command, then we can see the lesson 10, the lesson 88, and the lesson 99. No, just like that. So the lesson A. If we write, for example, A, then the star, and then dot text, can you imagine what we will take back? We will take all the files that start with an A and end with dot text. The second one, the second main wildcard, is the question mark. And it means it matches exactly one character. Matches exactly one character. So if you write, for example, question mark dot text, then it finds all the files that have one character as name and follows the .txt. For example, if you have a file named A, or for example, a file named B, or a file named C .text, then you would take this in return. Let's expand it a little bit. Good. If you write this command, can you imagine what you will take back? All the two letter files that start with the letter A. For example, you would take back a file named AB, a file named AZ, a file named AL, AK. If you write A, then the question mark, this wildcard, and then dot text, then you will find all the files. You will find all the files that are 2-letter long, starts with an A, and ends in .txt. We'll expand it a little more. Good. Sometimes we use something called the character classes. Character classes in some patterns. What is a character class? A character class is the two brackets. So this one is the character class. And what it does is it matches any of the characters included between the brackets. For example, let's make it so. For example, if we write CA and then inside the brackets NT and the star, then we would take back the words that start with CA. Words, or I will write it so: start with CA, and then have either an N or a T in the word that follows. Or both. Or both on what follows. For example, you would take back the word can, cat, candy, cats, and so on. Use two characters separated by a hyphen to create a range. So range, that would be inside the brackets here, A until D. This means A, B, C, and D. And the same goes also for the numbers. So if I write that, here, then I would take back 3, 4, 5, and 6. There are also some predefined named character classes that can also be used. Let's write it so: predefined named character classes. And these are the following. So the alpha, let me copy it, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now I can edit them. It is the alpha, it is the al_num, it is a digit, it is the lower, it is a space, and the upper. And let's see what every one of them does. The first one matches alphabetic letters, so that means lower and uppercase. The al_num matches alphabetic characters, plus digits, but the decimal digits. And what are the decimal digits? 0 to 9. The digit, as you can imagine, matches the decimal numbers 0 to 9. The lower matches the lowercase letters. The space matches the white space characters like space, hashtags, etc. The upper matches the uppercase letters. Now to match wildcard patterns. For example, if you have a file that ends in a question mark, how could you use it as a wildcard? Because how could you search it? Because it is a wildcard on its own. You could do you could use the backslash. So the backslash is that one. Try not to mistake it for the slash. The slash is this one, and the backslash is this one. For example, you could do star, and then the backslash, and then the question mark. What would that do? That would match all the files that end with question mark. For example, a file named true, a file named y, a file named b. It is like, for example, as we imagine that we write star and then a. then you would take that matches all the characters that end with an A. And one more time, if we want the question mark, we just use the backslash and the question mark, and this matches all the characters that end with a question mark. It is the same. Now you can save up your file and you can see everything here, our lesson. At our next lesson, as I stated before, we will make many examples so that you can really understand what the wildcards are. And the reason to use the wildcards is to make your life easier. You can be really a Kung Fu Ninja, a command line Kung Fu Ninja. If you do that, you can find, delete, move, copy files really fast. Because the wildcards, they can be used with not every, but with many Linux commands, like the list command, like we did before. We did use the list command here to find all the files here that start with an L. They can be used with a copy command, with a move command, with a remove command, and so on. We will see many examples at our next lesson. So for today, I hope that you learned a lot of things. You can, as I stated before, try to implement everything that you learned today before I even show it to you, if you want to. And thank you all for watching.